According to economists at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, rising corporate concentration/monopolies, when only a few major companies dominate an entire industry, is worsening inflation. According to a new report, when corporate production costs rise, they pass those costs on to consumers in the form of higher prices. However, when industries are more concentrated and competition is lower because of monopolies, the price increase is about 25% higher. In other words, monopolies do not always cause inflation. However, because they tend to overcompensate for rising production costs by rapidly raising their prices, they can exaggerate inflation. The report did not single out any industry, but in recent years the oil and meatpacking industries have been among those most frequently cited as being dominated by a handful of conglomerates, which lowers competition and raises prices. The Boston Fed report's authors, a regional arm of the United States Federal Reserve, currently tasked with taming inflation, used data from 2005 to 2018. Since then, business competition in the United States has only weakened, making their estimate conservative. The United States economy is at least 50% more concentrated today than it was in 2005, the economists wrote. Concentration of businesses discourages competition, which is not what capitalism is based on. Price increases do not last forever. The Boston Fed discovered that historically, prices usually stabilize after about a year. Nonetheless, these are unusual times. In March, inflation in the United States increased by 8.5% over the previous year, a level not seen since the early 1980s. As the global economy recovers from the pandemic, inflation is afflicting many advanced economies, though it is unclear why it is particularly severe in the United States. Economists almost universally agree on two inflation drivers: tight labor markets and supply chain bottlenecks. Corporate greed, on the other hand, is a contentious issue. As an obvious impetus, progressive lawmakers such as Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren have pointed to record profits in industries with high inflation rates. This notion has been roundly criticized by conservatives. Consider the petroleum industry. As of the time of this video, according to the automotive club AAA, drivers in the United States are paying an all-time high of $4.60 per gallon on average. According to the most recent Labor Department data, oil prices have increased by more than 80% since last spring. During the same time period, gasoline prices increased by nearly 44%. Energy companies are not increasing production higher than demand, which is keeping prices higher than usual. Additionally, energy companies are exporting fuel, which further decreases the supply available for U.S. consumers. Meanwhile, Shell reported a record $9.1 billion profit from January to March 2022, while BP reported its most profitable quarter in a decade. While Russia's invasion of Ukraine undoubtedly disrupted global oil supply, politicians such as Warren claim that corporations are profiting from the situation. It is clear that record profits at a time of record price increases seems like artificial inflation, otherwise known as price gouging. Unlike past inflationary periods, this time inflation is not being caused by printing more money. Inflation is now being caused by increased demand against decreased supply. Many point to President Biden as being at fault, others point to Congress. But in reality, the U.S. is a market economy and the government can't dictate what is produced or how much is produced. That would be a feature of a command economy such as in communist systems. How do you think inflation can be realistically tamed outside of any radical or conspiratorial ideology? Do you think monopolies should be broken up to create more competition in the market? Should the U.S. government tax exports heavily in an attempt to keep energy products in the U.S. so they are available for U.S. consumers? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when a new video uploads. Peace.